As told yesterday, today we will see SQL and basic SQL queries, and tomorrow we will see again Unix commands. Sorry. So yesterday we have seen very basic commands like creating a folder, creating a file with blank data, adding data using VI editor, and couple other things, counting number of lines, or fetching the first record or top n records and fetching last n records. Those kind of things we have seen yesterday using basic commands, right? Listing the files or folders, listing the files with details and all those things. Today we will see, we'll try to understand basic SQL commands or SQL query language. In your systems, you can open Oracle connector, which is, this is the icon. So you can connect it to this one. You might be provided with credentials, say something like Scott Tiger or system. So you can connect to that. I do have some issue on my connector. That's the reason I'm using this W3 schools. This is a page where we can also practice SQL from the browser directly. Even we can practice a couple other things also. So what is SQL is? SQL is structured query language. Structured query language means here the SQLs are nothing but database where we can save the data in an order, something like in a tabular format. Okay, which is going to have a metadata and which is also going to have columns with data types, and all those things are going to be available in SQL. Okay, to create a table, we need to write some commands or some queries. We call them as queries, not commands. Commands are in Unix or Linux, we call them as commands. In data stage, we call them as jobs. If it is a programming language, then we call as instructions or a program. Okay. So what is SQL is structured query language. So there is certain language which is defined to address the compiler of this SQL. If we give that query, then only it can able to understand and it will execute the things. It will execute whatever we do ask. Like how we are fetching past 10 records through command from a file. In a similar way, using SQL, we can fetch the records which are available in a table. Okay. So what is the SQL is for? It is going to save the data in large amounts in tabular format. So that table is going to have columns and rows. Okay, columns is nothing but metadata. Rows is nothing but actual data. I'll show you how the data is going to look like. Even you can check on your SQL developer. There some dummy tables are going to available, like employee table or department table, student table. Likewise, I'll show them in following classes. But here also we can do practice those things. So it is going to save the data in a structured format. Say suppose I want something from, say suppose there are some 1,000 tables are available with data. I want to see employee data. Then I need to know that employee data where it is saved. So first it is going to have some memory. DB is nothing but a database. In a database, we are going to have data in tables. Okay. So these should be first create. We need to first create a tables. Then we need to insert the data to these tables. That's how it is going to save the data. First, we need to create a database. To create a database, we need a machine again. Machine means a place where a computing and memory is available. So all these databases are going to be installed on some Unix or Linux servers. Okay. So where these databases are hosted, that we call as DB server. Or so we need to have server name, host name, ID and password to connect to this particular database. These are all the things that we need to connect to a database. So there are many types of databases available. As I told before, Oracle, Teradata, DB2, MySQL, Snowflake. So all these are databases only. For any of these databases, we need server name, host name, user ID and password. If we do have these things, we can able to connect to that place. What we do have in that place is what we can able to do in a database is we can create tables, we can delete tables, we can insert data to a created table, or on regular basis we can update some records. So all these kind of operations can be done. So what are all the kind of operations that we can able to perform on a database is we can create a table. Why we need to create a table? Because since we could not able to manage larger amounts of data, we definitely need a place to save on a machine. If we arrange them in an order, then we can easily retrieve those data, right? When the data size is very large in amounts, if we do not arrange them in an order, then it is pretty much difficult to get the data which has been saved. Say suppose we do have thousands of books with us. If we do not segregate them and directly placed at some in some rack, we could not able to manage them, right? That's how here also we need to save the data in an order. For saving in an order, we are maintaining tabular format. So first we need to create a table. After creating a table, we can insert new rows, or we can update existing rows, or we can delete rows, or we can delete table itself, or we can delete complete data. So all these operations can be performed on a database. Inserting new rows, when this is going to help is, say suppose there are 1,000 employees in a company. Tomorrow one new person is joining. Then that record need to be inserted to that employee, right? In such cases, a new record is going to insert. I'm giving a random example, but that insertion is completely dependent on the requirement. Okay. And say suppose some employee changed from Hyderabad to Bangalore. Then we need to update the location using update. So in such scenarios, we need to update the records. Say suppose he resigned and he moved to some other organization, then there is no need to maintain his record, right? So we need to delete that row. I don't want that table because I reorganized my structure of the table. Then what I'm going to do, I delete the table itself. Or else I do have some wrong data in a table where I would like to completely delete the data, but I want the table structure. Then we are going to delete only the data, but retain the table structure. Okay. These are only few of the things. Apart from these things, many other actions also can be done through a SQL. But where we are using SQL in data stages, say suppose a business is having their source data on a database, then we need to extract the data, right? Like how we are getting the data from a sequential file, in the similar way, we can also extract the data from SQL database as well. For that, we need to write the query. Query in the sense, so here we are saying, go and read this file, which is having so and so format and so columns, right? In a similar way, while extracting data from a SQL, we need to write a SQL query. Then the SQL database or the database understands what we have written and retrieves the data. We will see all those things one after the other. So this is very brief or high level understanding on why we need a database or why we need to learn SQL. Okay. So here it is saying the same thing. What can SQL do? We can execute queries on a database to retrieve data, to insert records, to update records or to delete records, create new databases, create new tables, or create stored procedures. I will explain what is stored procedure, what is view, and the other things post understanding the initial things. Okay. So now I would like to retrieve the data which is available in a table. So here customer is a table. In this database, this is a W3 schools database. In this database, all these tables are available. Okay. Now I would like to see what is there in customers table. Okay. I would like to extract the data which is available in customers table. Then We need to write the SQL statement like this. First, we need to write select. Select means I am asking to select the data. I want complete data. So to retrieve complete data, star is the notation that we need to give. Select star from. I would like to retrieve from customers table. Okay. So this is how we need to write a SQL statement. Select star from customers. C is capital. This is case insensitive. We can give smaller also. I'm running the SQL. So there are 91 records in customers table. Okay. All the 91 records been fetched to the output. See, all the 91 records came. Now here, how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As I told, data is stored in tabular format, which is having columns and rows. Okay. Now I don't want complete column. I want only customer ID and customer name. Then instead of giving the star over here, we can write customer ID, comma, customer name. Then we can get only those two columns. I'm running the SQL. See now, only customer ID and customer name fetched. Rest other columns not retrieved. Why we need to select only the needed columns is, say suppose I have given select a star, but I don't want to use all the columns. Still, if I give star, then it is going to consume more time to process more data. That's why we need to make our query in such a way that it should take very less time for its execution and retrieving the data. If my query is executing for longer runs or longer time, then we call the query as costly query. Like how we need to so this is going to give all the columns, right? Let me execute this. So now I want data only from Germany country. Here many other countries are there. Germany, France, Canada, UK, Argentina, Mexico, and many other are there. But I want only from Germany. Then we need to add a filter, right? The filtering can be done using where need to give Germany. If it is a data stage, we need to select the filter stage and we need to apply this country is equal to Germany, right? But here we just need to write select a star from customers where country is Germany. Then I'm running this SQL. It is going to give us only the data from Germany. So total number of records are 91, but here you see only 11 records are there because all these 11 records are from Germany country. This is how we can able to apply the filtering in my data. And here we can give only the columns which we add on the columns which are needed for. So I want each country name and number of records that are available in that country name. Then how we can able to perform, like suppose Germany is there. In Germany, total number of records are 11. So Germany 11 and Mexico 12, something like that. I want country name and the number of records. Then how we can able to perform that using SQL queries? First, let me note down the approach. So first thing, how we can able to do it? First, what we need to do? We need to group the data using key column. in our use case, the key column is country. We need to group the data using country. This is what we need to do. First, we need to group the data. Then we need to count the data. Let's see how to implement that on SQL. First, we need to know how to count the data. So count star. Select count star will give us total number of records. Okay. So now I am counting this one. Select the count star from table name is going to count the number of records in that particular table. See how many are there? 91 are there. Here we are getting the name as EXPR 1000. But I want this as count. Okay. So here I can write as COUNT count. This we call as aliasing name. Aliasing name is something like a nickname. Instead of calling this as this is a random name. Instead of giving some random name, we can assign our own name to this particular output. Okay, so now I'm giving an aliasing name for count star as count. Select count star as count from customers. Now I'm executing. So then what we get is instead of expression 1000, we are going to get count. Okay, so I should not write COUNT because these are keywords which are coming in blue color over here. If there is something which is blue color, that means that already have some definition for the compiler. From means from, after from it is expecting a table name. As means it is it knows that they are giving some aliasing name. Select means we need to retrieve the data. Count means we need to count the data. Likewise, all these blue color ones are keywords that already have some naming, some definition for the compiler. That's why here if I give as count, it is giving an error. So I have given it as CNT, and when I executed, it came with CNT. Now I would like to count only Germany records where country is equal to Germany. Okay. Then it is going to give the count of only Germany records. But now I want all the countries. So here what I do is select country, comma, count star as count from customers, group by country. So what I'm doing, I'm doing grouping based out country column. Then what it is going to do, it is going to segregate the data based on country, and then it will count the records. So select, that means it is giving the columns which are defined after the select statement. What we have asked country name. We also asked the count of records as CNT. From which table? From customers table. Then what we are asking to group the data by country. Okay, so this is also a keyword. Group by is a keyword in SQL which will help us to group the data. If I execute this one, then we are going to get country name and their count. So for Argentina, there are 3 records. For Austria, there are 2 records. For Belgium, 2 records. Brazil, 9 records. Like how we get all the records. Hope you understand how we can able to group by. Now I would like to sort this data. Then what is the keyword is order by is the keyword. Order by count in ascending. So ascending can be denoted using ASC. Order by is going to sort the data. If I execute this one, now my data will come. Order by count ascending. No value given for one or more required parameters. Order by So here when I did order by on country, then it is been sorted based out of country names. That's why all A's came first. If I give in a descending order here, then it will come in descending order. My data will be sorted in descending order. That's why see V came first and A goes last. But why we did not get the data order by here is count is a column which is derived in the query, not available in the actual table. That's why it is not doing. So to do that one, select star from this. Let me explain this one. So hope you understand the inner query, which is select country count star as count from customers table group by country name. That means what we are doing is we are selecting the data for each country and we are also counting the data for each country and we are giving a name as CNT of that count from table customers and we are grouping the data based on country. If I execute only this query, then we will get the data randomly. But now what I have done is I have given a name for this data. The name is A. So whatever is been coming in this query that I called as A. Then I am asking to select a star from A. Means I am selecting complete data from this inner query and then I am doing order by. Order by is used to sort the data. Now I am doing order by. That means I am sorting the data on count, this one, on this particular column. So I have given it as A.CNT. That means it is picking CNT column from A and it is sorting the data in descending order. That's why if I run this query, the highest count came first. If I do it in ascending order, which is nothing but ASC. Okay. If I execute this one, then smaller count will come first. See, Ireland 1, Poland 1, Norway 1. That means all the smaller counts came first. So this is how we can implement sorting in a SQL query. You might get a question if we can able to do the data processing through SQL queries, then why there is a need of having ETL tool again? Here we can just write a single query. No need to add stages, no need to add the configurations, no need to compile. Everything is happening in a single query. But why it is not possible is every time we will not get requirement on a single table, right? At each and every time, somehow we need to talk to all the tables that are available and that has to be scheduled. Okay. And if 1,000 tables are resided on a single database and I am writing queries for all these 1,000 tables and I'm executing at same time, then my database is not going to respond because the compilation is not going to handle and the processing cannot be done concurrently on such a large amounts of data. Then database is going to hang. That's the reason we use ETL tools for processing and we can't schedule these queries. We can't in the sense it can be doable, but this is not an approachable way to implement ETL solution. Okay, but this is how we can able to group the data or sort the data or we can apply the filters and there are many other things also. We will see one after the other. Even you can practice the SQL in this W3 schools where they will explain everything. So the query to retrieve all the records from a table is select a star from customers. Then you can see complete data. This is selecting complete data. Likewise, say suppose I do have some duplicates. Then how we can remove is distinct is a keyword. So this also we have seen. Selecting only needed columns from a table. Select column names from table. So I'm telling, see, while you are getting the calls, they might ask, do you have experience in Teradata or do you have experience in MySQL, like that? The statements or the queries that we are using are not constant in all these databases. Even though the concept is same, a slight difference is there in these execution, so we need to see those as well. In PL/SQL there might not be need of adding a colon semicolon at last, but in MySQL there might be a need of adding semicolon. Likewise, a slight difference will be there in the syntax, but still all do have similar base concept in sequels. Okay, now say this one we have seen, retrieving complete data using select star from table name, and this one also we have seen selecting only needed columns from a table. And distinct is a keyword which is used to delete the duplicates. We can get only non-duplicate records. If I tell distinct country, then it is going to give all the distinct countries that are available. Let me show you. So first, if I give select star from customers, if I run this one, we are going to get all the data. See, from Mexico itself, a number of details are there. Now I would like to see how many distinct countries are there. Say suppose there is a business which is distributed across the globe, but he would like to know across the globe how many countries he has reached or he has distributed his business. Then he need to know the distinct countries, right? So to get the distinct values or unique values, here we need to use the keyword distinct country. That means they are going to provide distinct country names. Give me a second, let me plug in Charger. So how many countries are there? 21 countries are there which are in unique. Say suppose I want distinct. One second, let me plug in. Okay. So here what I'm telling about distinct keyword, right? Select a star from customers. So here I do have city also and postal code. Let's try to see how many distinct postal codes are there. Then we can write select distinct postal code from customers. Then I can execute this query, which is going to give the distinct postal codes. How many are there? 87 are there. This record we will not get, this count we will not get every time. To see the count again, we can write an outer query upon this one, like select count star from this one. Okay, so it is going to count the data which is available in this inner query. The query which is there inside this braces we call as inner query or subquery, and the outer query we call as outer query. Okay, let me execute this. So here it is giving 87 records. Say suppose again, let me keep it as distinct country and I want the count. So 21 countries are there. Like this, we can able to write these queries in the SQL connectors. I will show in data stage where we are going to add tomorrow. And we will also continue to see the other things as well. So we have seen where, we have seen order by. We will see these conditions as well, and or not, and how to create a table, how to insert the data to a table, how to count null values. Select top. This is going to give top 10 records like this. Select top 10 star from customers. So select the top 10 star from customers is going to give top 10 records. Like this. We can also retrieve top 5 records by selecting top 5 star from customers. Is going to give top 5 records. So we will see one after the other. You can practice these queries using the SQL Developer Console on your machine, and you can also practice in this W3 schools. Directly go to Google and click on W3 schools. There you see all these headers. Click on SQL and try to go through each of the page in detail. They will explain everything. You can try there itself. You can try ourselves in the server itself. Okay. Tomorrow also we will see some of the Unix commands or SQL, and then we will start writing or extracting the data from SQL server. Meantime, I will set up my machine with the SQL. Okay. Any doubts so far? Anyone do have any doubt? Okay then. Thank you. Please do practice these things as well.